So let us start with the session for today. So good evening to all the esteemed participants who have joined this session. And in this workshop, we are going to delve into the discussion on CBSE life skills. Though we all know what are the CBSE life skills, but we will just discuss that how these skills can be implemented, and how important is to implement these life skills into the classroom so that the students can gain what is actually required for their whole life. So you are here with me. I'm serving as PGT Computer Science in I Public School, Meerut, Kant. Good evening, Angelina, ma'am. And good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. And I'm serving as skill education coordinator also there. So I'll be talking about the skills which are to be required for everyone, like each one of us, and even the students, so that they can do better in their whole life. So let's move towards one statement, which is it is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human being later into their own lives. So in this workshop we are going to understand that what are the life skills first of all, in which categories we can divide all these life skills, and how and why is it so important to understand the life skills and its importance so that the students can do better into their own lives. So once we are talking about education, the primary aim of education is not to enable students to do well in school, but to help them to do well in their own lives they lead outside the school. So our session 1 is a questionnaire where we are developing the perspective of building these life skills. So I would like to request you all to get a piece of paper and a pen because you have to answer 12 questions quickly. And then I will show you what are the answers to those questions. And there you will get to know that where you are and how you can go further in building these life skills into your children whom you are teaching. So kindly get a piece of paper and a pen to answer the questions which I'll be showing you on the screen. Then I'll take you towards the discussion on all the life skills, the categories into which we can divide, and how important it is to build these life skills into everyone's, each one of us, and even into the student's life. So let me take you towards the activity. This activity is for 10 minutes only, and there just a questionnaire with 12 questions is listed. Into the piece of paper which you have just brought, you have to write all the answers ABCD there to the questions which I'll show you. And in this session only, after I'll show you all the 12 questions, I will show you what are the answers to those 12 questions. So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So question number 1. Thank you so much for confirmations. Question number 1 is act like a man and be like a lady. Points to a gender stereotype. Which of the following skill is essential to contain damaging effects of living up to a gender stereotype? I'll be taking 2 seconds or 3 seconds of gap, and then I'll be asking you the another question. The options are option A, dealing with emotions, coping with stress, effective communication, critical thinking. Next question. When a student says, I would rather think upon a picture on my own than tracing it from any of the copy, he/she is high on option A, problem solving, B, decision making, C, creative thinking, D, critical thinking. Next, when a student expresses, I would rather have a friend, someone who is lively and full of ideas than someone who is nice and always want to do what I want, he oblique she has high? Option A, creative thinking. B, critical thinking. C, problem solving. D, effective communication skills. Let's move on to question number 4. Which one of the following indicates effective communication skills if one receives unfavorable feedback? Option A, I get angry and defensive. Option B, I withdraw. Option C, I deny the problem, make excuses. Option D, I note where I need to improve. Question number 5. One of the following statements is correct in the context of managing emotions. Option A, only some people can learn how to manage emotions. B, emotions cannot be controlled. C, sharing one's own feeling oblique emotions is not good. D, feeling different emotions at different times is normal. Next question. When time is right, I face my negative feelings and work through what the issue is. This indicates presence of self-awareness. B, empathy. C, managing emotions. D, critical thinking. Next, question number 7. You have given directions to a stranger, oblique, donated blood, oblique, offered your seat on a bus or a train, to an elderly stranger, oblique, done volunteer work for a charity. These actions are indicator of which life skill? First is empathy, B, self-awareness, C, interpersonal, D, managing emotions. Question number 8. The purpose of decision making involves following process in an order. Select the correct order. Identify the problem. Think of alternatives. Analyze problem. Decide on a course of action. Next, identify the problem. Decide on a course of action. Analyze problem. Think of alternatives. C, identify the problem. Analyze the problem. Decide on a course of action. Think of alternatives. D, identify the problem. Analyze the problem. Think of alternatives. Decide on a course of action. Question number 9. To resist peer pressure, to encourage, to say no. How would you advise the students to respond? Reverse the pressure, say no and walk away, give an alternative, avoid a response. Next, and the last slide for questionnaire. Non-verbal signs of stress include avoid eye contact, fiddling with clothes, stuttering, chewing nails. Next, advertisements try to attract attention and sell products by using film stars, players, or famous persons for endorsement. Which life skill is required to resist the impact of advertisements that does not communicate harmful consequences of use of product? Option A, creative thinking. B, problem solving. C, decision making. D, critical thinking. Last question. Which of the following will help you to analyze the pros and cons of any situation? First is critical thinking. Second, problem solving. Third, self awareness. Fourth, critical thinking. I hope you people have answered all these 12 questions. Now, are you ready? Shall I show you the answers? Okay, thank you so much for your response. So, the first question, where we were talking about the gender stereotype. So, the skill which is essential to contain damaging effects of living up to gender stereotype is effective communication and critical thinking. You people have to think in a different way, and even the communication is to be done, the effective communication is to be done between people, so that one shall not think about that, okay, the if there is a man, he can't read. If there is a lady, he can't do such a work which only is actually related to the people who are actually considered as men. So these are the things which are to be considered. Now, when a student says, I would rather like to think upon a picture on my own and then trace on a copy one. So, in this, the creative thinking of the student is resembled. Next, when any of the students is finding someone who is so lively and full of ideas as the interesting person, it is all about critical thinking, where you are thinking in each and every direction. Next. Now, once we were talking about receiving unfavorable feedback. So, generally, what we do, we get angry, we get defensive, or we withdraw, we actually don't want to go to that side, or we deny the problem and just leave few excuses and walk away. But yes, into those situations, we have to tell our students, okay, note it down and try to improve, so that once you are facing any of the other difficulty, you are actually trying to improve. So this is one of the skill which one has to acquire. Now, which one is correct in managing the emotion? Emotions cannot be controlled. Yes, they can be controlled. Feeling different emotion, different time is normal. Yes, it is exactly normal. I think I have marked the answer wrong. The answer to this question is, yeah, I have marked the answer wrong. It is feeling different emotions at different time is normal. This is the correct answer, right? Okay, now the sixth question. When time is right, I face my negative feelings and walk through what the issue is. This indicates presence of, yes, self awareness, first of all. If I'm facing my negative feelings, if I'm having, like, if the time is right, then also I'm having something which is happening into our mind. See, our mind never stops thinking. So if everything is right, then also we start feeling, okay, this is the negative thing, or this is the walkthrough which I'm having. So it is all about being aware of ourselves. And then also, what is the presence, the managing emotions, where you are having the true feeling and bad feeling all together, but you are able to manage. So it is all about managing emotions. Now, the next question. Yes, if you are doing something good for someone and feeling that the elderly person may be feeling, tired, he wants to sit or like that. So it is all about empathy, where you are thinking that what others are thinking, or if you are feeling what others can feel. This is all about empathy. Yes, the last option in question number 8 is correct, where you are first of all identifying the problem. Then you are analyzing each and every aspect of that problem, that what is happening. Okay, this is the problem which is there. Now then you are thinking of the alternative solutions. Okay, this problem can be solved in this way, or in this way, or in this way, or in that way. And then you will find out, okay, which one is the best solution to the problem which I have just identified. So you will decide a course of action onto that particular problem. Next is to resist peer pressure, to encourage to say no, which is very difficult, right? If we are also like, we people are also working in some organization, we people are actually dealing with people every day, where if we are not ready to do something, or we are not finding something which is right to do, then also saying no becomes really very difficult. So how would you advise your students to respond? You can even say, agar zyada hi you are having the situation where you are not able to answer even, then you can say no and walk away, which is not very much correct, but yes, sometimes it is required. Then give an alternative is the best solution, right? Is the best solution. And why I have marked avoid a response, because sometimes when we are not able to manage our emotions or certain things or environment, then we say something which is not to be said. So you can avoid a response as well, so that the other person can find out, okay, there is some problem, that is why the person is not responding. And after some time you people can respond to that particular problem, or you can say, okay, at that time I was not in a good frame of mind, but yes, I was trying to say no, and even I was thinking that you will also feel bad, but it is not in my capacity, so I just want to avoid this thing, the particular situation, right? Now next is non-verbal sign of stress. Yes, all of these are non-verbal sign of stress. Sometimes it happens that, okay, if we are under stress, we generally avoid eye contact, we fiddle with our clothes when we are in stress, or our students are in stress basically. Then yes, shuddering, chewing our nails. Chewing nails is the biggest problem among our students, I have found. People are just sitting, they are chewing their nails once they are in stress. So these are the non-verbal signs of stress, which we can, by which we can find out, okay, these students are in stress, or they are having something wrong with them. Now next is advertisements. Okay, the advertisements which are saying, okay, this is the best product, or having these ingredients, and this will help you in this way or that way. But actually we should look into all the all the reviews we can read, or we can check all the ingredients, or we can check all these particular things which are to be checked before getting trapped into any of the advertisements. So that is the critical thinking, where we are considering all the points all together. Now, which of the following will help you to analyze the pros and cons of any situation? Yes, if we are talking about pros and cons, it is all about critical thinking, where you are analyzing each and every part of the particular situation, or particular object, or particular thing, and then you are taking some of the decisions depending upon the things which you have found by yourselves. That is the critical thinking. So these are the answers. Maybe one of the answer is wrong, which I have marked wrong in the answer key. But if you have taken the screenshot, then you can take the screenshot of this particular screen as well, so that once you want to review all these questions, you people can review. Now the next is, life skills are the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enables individual to deal effectively with the demands and challenges in everyday life. Since the starting of the workshop, we people are just trying to understand that how life skills are so important to be developed into any of the students, which we people are having into our own class, so that they can do something better into their life in future. So WHO has also said something about life skills, which is, these are the abilities that facilitate the physical, mental, emotional well-being of an individual. If the person is able to maintain the balance between the emotional um, skills, or able to manage their emotional skills, able to judge something critically, and even able to think something creatively, then the person will be able to manage it, oneself properly into their own lives. So once we are talking about the life skills, the occupational or vocational skills which are developed by the skill subjects through CBSE, these are actually enhancing the capability, the resources, and even giving the opportunity to pursue individual and household economic goals, and is related to income generation. Yes, we people are taking these vocational subjects or skill subjects to develop such skills into our own students so that they can generate some income once they are getting those degrees or getting those certificates into their own hands. So the life skills, the CBSE life skills are listed into this particular image. So one is self awareness, another is problem solving, then interpersonal skills, then creative thinking, critical thinking, effective communication, empathy, decision making, coping with stress, and managing stress. So these are the life skills which CBSE has listed into their own documents, and they are saying these skills are to be developed by their schooling so that they can do better in the school, outside the school, and even their own lives. So we have categorized all these skills into these particular three categories. One is social skills, second is emotional skills, third is thinking skills. So life skills are being divided into three parts: social, emotional, and thinking. Now let's move towards the life skills and find out which life skills comes under which category. So once we are talking about self-awareness, problem solving, decision making, critical thinking, and creative thinking, it is all about thinking skills. Once we are talking about interpersonal relationships, effective communication, and empathy, it is all about social skills. Once we are talking about managing emotions and coping with stress, it is all about emotional skills. So let us move towards these skills one by one and find out that what is there into the particular name. So once we are talking about self-awareness, it is all about managing oneself. Even the time management also comes under self-awareness or self-management, even self-control, and the things which are related to oneself. Finding out the strength, finding out the weakness, maintaining the balance between. Yes, Tarang sir, I'll show you the previous slide again. You can take a screenshot of it.
Kindly hold on, ma'am. I'm writing it. Thank you.
Oh,
Kindly
okay.
hold on, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Screenshot we can take, but if we write it, it will be memorized for us. So
Yeah.
that's why. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So write it down. I'll be moving after a few seconds to the next slide. If anyone is writing it down. So now I'm moving towards the another slide where we will talk about each skill one by one. So once we are talking about self-awareness, it is all about finding out the strength, the weakness. It is all about maintaining the balance between the strength and the weakness and everything, right? So once we are talking about self-awareness, we will talk about managing ourself, self-control, self-awareness, time management, this all will come inside self awareness. Now we will talk about problem solving. Into our daily life, we are dealing with so many problems and we are finding out solutions to each and every problem which are coming as hurdles into our life. But yes, dealing with problems will lead you to solve these problems constructively and will lead you to become more logical, will lead you to become more strong at the end of the day. Now, we will talk about decision making. In our life, every day we are taking n number of decisions. So, dealing constructively with decision about our own lives, this we people have to tell our students. Once they are talking about, like every time, whenever they are having some problem, they are seeking the guidance with from any of the other person, which is equally right. But yes, sometimes students are required to take their own decisions. For example, whatever skills these people are having, they have to find out the way or the path or the goal which they can achieve more, effectively rather than achieving the goal which someone has set to achieve. So these are the things which are very much required for each and every student to learn before they go beyond this particular school. Now, critical thinking, analyzing information and experiences in an objective manner. The information which is around us in the environment and the experience which people are gaining each and every day. Just a second, I'm having some message, I think, into the chat. How it can be developed? Decision making or critical thinking? Or all the life skills you're talking about, Sonam ma'am?
Ma'am, decision making.
Okay. So once we are talking about decision making, we people can conduct some activities where we can give them some case studies or application based, some activities where these people are actually applying the knowledge which they have acquired. The subjects where labs are, attached with the subject. For example, I'm taking multimedia or computer science or any of the subjects related to computers. So we are trying to tell our students, okay, this is the knowledge which you have acquired in the class. Now you are required to apply this particular knowledge into your own laboratory. Once we are talking about decision making, we can give them some situation. Okay, this is the problem. Like if I'll talk about the project cycle of any of the subject, right? If it is science or mathematics or computer science or any of the subject. So what we are saying them, we are telling them find out a problem first of all. After finding out that particular problem, we are saying okay, now acquire the data from different areas. Once you have acquired the data from the different areas, we are saying okay, now analyze the data which you have acquired, that is data exploration. Now once the data exploration is done, we are trying to tell our students okay, now construct a model or construct you can say now construct an application or website or a model by which you can understand okay, this was the problem and this is the solution to the problem. Now once the model is ready or the thing is ready, it is going like this, that can go for testing, okay, if this model is working or not. So in this way you can tell our students to take certain decisions once you are having certain problem or they are having certain problem into their own life, or they have some problem for which they have scoped a solution also for projects and all. So in this way you can implement these skills into your own class. Yes, Tarang sir, it's right. Discussions and debates can be done to tell them how the person is actually dealing with the problem which they are facing every day. Is it clear, Sona ma'am, now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Now we will talk about critical thinking. Critical thinking is analyzing the information and experience in an objective manner. So once we are having some information or we are getting some experience from the environment, maybe from any of the situation or any of the thing, then we people have to analyze that. Okay, this has happened, now this should not happen again, or this should be, if this is happening, I'll be moving in this way. So this is very much required to be generated into our students so that they can also think positively whenever they are having any of the problem. Now another thing is creative thinking, which is very much required in each and every subject. So it's a novel way of seeing or doing things where you are finding out how creative you can be or how creative your solution can be so that it can help others. For example, if I'm talking about a student who wants to become an entrepreneur into their own lives. So, what these people have to do? They have to be creative in finding out a solution which is different from others. See, in the market, there are n number of products and n number of things available. But when anybody is coming with a new, this thing, new solution or new product, it is their own way or their creative thinking how these things or how the product can be presented or can be different from the other products which are there into the market. So it's a novel way of seeing or doing things. So four things are very much important. First is fluency. It is not about fluency in the language, but fluency in generating the new ideas. Then flexibility, shifting perspective easily. Originality, very much important, conceiving of something new. Elaboration, that is building on others' ideas. So once we are talking about generating new ideas, it is all about scoping a problem and finding a solution, right? Now flexibility, see, for example, if I have built a marker and I have placed that marker into the industry or placed that marker into the market so that the other people can purchase that marker. So what I'll do, I'll be manufacturing that marker with something which is which makes this marker different from the other markers, right? Now, once I'm getting some feedback about this marker, okay, your marker is so thin or your marker is so thick. So I'll be changing or shifting my, perspective so that I can meet the customers, I can meet the customer's satisfaction. Then originality, your product should be yours and others' product should be others. It should not be copied. Then elaboration, yes, building on others' ideas. That is, if someone is having some idea but not able to implement, then you can be the person who can implement that idea. But don't take that, credit of generating that idea. But yes, you can add the copyright there with your own product which you have generated. So next is social skills. Now we people are talking about social skills. So next is interpersonal skills. Very much important into the place where we live, into the place where we work, into the place where we survive, right? So interpersonal skills are, you can rating in positive way with other we interact, making and keeping friendly relationships, maintaining good relations with family members, and ending relationships constructively. So we will talk about point number 4 later, but yes, we will talk about all these first, second, and third point first of all. So once we are in a family, we try to have a good relationship with everybody. It is all related to maintaining the emotions, the requirement, or anything which is, demands, so that everyone can feel good sitting with you, talking to you, and even living with you. So there should be a nice relationship maintained among the family members. Now, once you are talking about friends, yes, you should have good friends and you should be a good friend to the people who are around you. Now, once we are talking about the people whom we interact, maybe they are our friends or the strangers or anybody, then also you should respond in a positive way so that other can feel that yes, we are having nice people around us, and this makes you happy. Actually, this makes you happy. If you are having a nice, environment at your workplace, you will feel very energetic while work. If you are having a nice environment in the family, you will feel very energetic while talking to your family members. And if you are having a nice relationship between your friends, then also you will feel so good once you are interacting with them. And this leads to if you are having some problem, this leads to finding a solution, and all those things, like everything will be nice if you are having a nice interpersonal skills. Now, what is ending relationship constructively? For example, you people were in a team from so many years, but now your team, now the members are actually moving towards the another team, or you have been shifted to any of the other team and you're working with some other people, or you have shifted the company or something. Later, if you want to end that relationship, if you don't want to be into that relationship where you were once you were there into some other company, and you don't want to disclose anything to anybody, that what you are doing or whatever is, or whatever is the reason behind ending the relationship, then also the relationship should be ended constructively, so that the other person can know that why this relationship has ended and what was the problems which occurred while the relationship was on. So this is all about having the relationship and ending the relationship if there is some condition or something. So let us move towards effective communication, which is one of the skills under social skills. Communication is very much required. Maybe it is among the family members, maybe it is among the teacher and the student, maybe it is among the co-workers, or maybe it is among the authorities and the workers. So it is very much required that you people are having the effective, or the students should get the skill or acquire the skill of effective communication, so that these people can this student can effectively communicate the good things, the bad things, and everything even to the other person. So expressing appropriately, verbally and non-verbal, expressing opinions and desires, and also needs and fears, being able to ask for advice and help in the time of need. So one should be having the skill to communicate effectively, so that the person can tell about each and everything, whatever is to be told to the other person. Then empathy. I want to emphasize on the empathy skill. By having the empathy skill, like our Prime Minister talks about Skill India, or and our Prime Minister talk about the entrepreneurship or small scale business, or he is actually open to new ideas and new work which can be generated in our country. For that, one has to start with empathy. Empathy is seeing with others' eyes, listening with others' ears, and feeling with others' hurt. Then only you will be able to identify that what is the problem and how you can provide a solution to the problem. See, every product is a solution to a problem. Maybe it is the skin cream, or it is the hair oil, or any of the thing which is being prepared as a product, is basically a solution to a problem. So once you will have the empathy, you will be able to identify, okay, this is the problem which the people are facing, and this can be the solution in return of that particular problem. So empathy is very much required once we are talking about these social skills. Now we will talk about emotional skills, where we actually fail, we as a teachers also actually fail to manage. So recognizing emotions within us and others. See, recognizing the emotions within us is important, but equally it is important to recognize the emotions other people are having. Be aware of how emotions influence behavior, being able to respond to the emotions appropriately. Coping with the stress, very much important. Recognizing the sources and the effect of stress in our life. Sources are to be identified so that the sources can be blocked from where we are getting the stress, or so that we can find out a solution to the problem which is causing the stress. And even we have to identify what are the effects which is actually the stress is putting on our life, and learning how to relax. Maybe it is a trip with the family or meditation, yoga, or any of the thing. But yes, we have to learn how to relax our mind. So all these skills are interrelated and reinforce each other. Together, they are responsible for our psychosocial competence, build our self-esteem and self-efficiency, and nurture holistic development. We people are talking about holistic development in each and every part of our life. And holistic development is very much important because that is the key to success. So now we will talk about importance of life skills. It promotes positive attitude and behavior. If we have acquired all those skills into our life, so we will be able to have or achieve the positive attitude and the behavior. Improves communication abilities, promotes healthy decision making, prevents negative and risk behaviors, promotes greater sociability, teaches anger control, increases self esteem and self confidence, and improves academic performance, which is very much required if you are in India, right? So, we will talk about how do life skills help. I will just take 10 more minutes if you will allow me, because I was told to finish this workshop by 5:50. So if you'll allow me, I'll just take 10 minutes more to finish this workshop. Thank you so much for your responses. I have got it. So we will now talk about how do life skills help. So first is the thinking skills to demonstrate the ability to be original, imaginative and flexible. To raise questions, very much important. Think critically, identify and analyze the problem. To implement a well thought out decision and to take responsibility of the thing which I have done. Maybe it's a wrong thing or a right thing, but yes, we have to take the responsibility of that. To feel comfortable with one's own life. Now we will talk about the social skills. To demonstrate the ability to identify, verbalize, and respond effectively to others' emotions in an empathetic manner. So we have to respond effectively to the emotions which the other people are having, and even we should be empathetic towards that person. To get along well with others without prejudice. Even if you are having some hatred into your own mind, then also go well with everybody. To take criticism constructively, to communicate effectively. Now we will talk about emotional skills. To identify causes and effects of stress on oneself, to develop and use multifaceted strategies to deal with stress, to express and respond to emotions with an awareness of consequence. So there are few life skill manuals are available which you people can refer to enhance your knowledge on the CBSE life skills. You can take a screenshot of it and you can read it. These are actually available in soft copy, so you all can refer to them. These are also the manuals. So I was having some key messages. You people can take this screenshot because I am running short of time. So life skills are developed as a result of constructive processing of information, impression, encounters and experiences, both individual and social, that are part of one's daily life and work, and rapid changes that occur in the course of one's life. So experiences are very much important in the in the view of developing your life skills. So role of a teacher, when you are standing as a teacher, what is your role in providing or developing these life skills? So ask for justification of ideas, pose thought provoking questions, stimulate critical thinking, assign assignments and projects based on life skills, integrate life skills with other subjects, coordinate with parents, act as a role models. Though we people are doing all these things, I am just giving you I should say a recap of things which we people are actually doing into our own classes. So there are some techniques to enhance the CBSE life skills. You all can take the screenshot of it. So discussions, debate, role play, brainstorm, storytelling, drama, these all are actually important to develop the life skills. Case studies, mimicking, I think the spelling is wrong, poetry, recitals, question and answers, these are actually important to develop the life skills. Then the games which we are actually making them play, working in small groups and pairs. Simulations like acting of something else, songs and dances, demonstration, these all are required to, just a second, these all are required as the techniques which we can use to develop the life skills. There is a short story which will not take 3 4 more than 3 4 minutes. I want you people to check this, because this is very important for each one of us to understand that why the dangers, the failures, the hurdles, the experience is required, or these things are required to develop the life skills or to be successful in our life.
Once there lived a boy in a town. One day he came to visit his grandfather during his summer. Once there lived a boy in a town. One day he came to visit his grandfather during his summer holidays. He used to play with his grandpa all the time. One day he said to his grandpa, "Grandpa, when I grow up, I want to become a successful man. Can you tell me some ways to be successful?" Grandpa nodded in yes and took boy with him to a nearby nursery. From nursery, his grandpa bought two small plants and came back home. Then he planted one plant in a pot and kept it inside the house, and planted other plant outside the house. "What do you think? Which of these two plants will grow better in future?" Grandfather asked the boy. Boy kept thinking for some time and then said, "Plant inside the house will grow better because it is safe from every danger, while plant outside is at risk of many things, like strong sunlight, storm, rain, and animals." Grandfather smiled and said, "Let us see what happens in future." After that, the boy left from there. After 4 years, boy came to visit his grandfather again. When boy saw his grandfather, he asked him, "Grandpa, last time I asked you a question, how to be successful in life, but you did not tell me anything. But this time, you have to tell me." Grandfather smiled and said, "Sure, but first, let us take a look at plants that we bought few years back." Saying this, grandfather took boy to place where he had planted small plant in a pot. They saw that the small plant had turned into a big plant. Then he took boy to look at the plant which they had planted outside. They saw that a big tree had grown out of a small plant. Its branches spread far and wide, providing shade to passerby. Now, grandfather looked at boy and asked, "Tell me, which plant grew more? Which is more successful?" Boy replied, the one we planted outside. But grandpa, how is this possible? That plant must have faced so many dangers. Still, it grew so big. Grandfather smiled and said, yes, plant outside had to face many things, but dealing with problems had its benefits too. Plant outside had freedom to spread its roots as much as it wanted. Problems like storm and heavy rain made its roots even stronger. Today, it is so strong that a small storm cannot cause any harm to it, while the plant we planted inside remains small and it is weak too, because it did not withstand the heavy storms, rain, and strong sunlight. Then grandfather looked at his grandson and said, my son, always remember that. Unless you struggle in life, unless you go through difficulties, you too will not be able to achieve success in your life. If you will make comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as you can. And if you are ready to struggle and go through difficulties, then no goal is impossible for you to achieve. Therefore, never think of problems as hurdles, but think of them as stepping stones towards success.
So this was the interesting story which we people should show or share the link with our students, so that they should also feel that difficulties which are coming into their own lives or into their path are actually just the obstacles. And just a second, they are just the obstacles which these people are having, but yes, they will make them more stronger, they will make them more experienced, they will make them more successful into their own lives. So be brave, take risk. Nothing can substitute experience is the last thing which I want to tell. If you have any questions, you people can post it into the chat box. I have opened it. Or you people can ask by unmuting yourselves, those who have no queries. For them, thank you for joining, and I'll see you with the another workshop very soon. Thank you so much. How can we receive certificate? Onto the particular WhatsApp group, you will be receiving one link where you will fill your details and you will get the certificate, Divina ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Any other thing which you all want to ask? Any feedback which you people want to give? You all are most welcome, and it's my pleasure to conduct the workshop for you all. And I'll see you soon with the next workshop.